Hi everybody, this is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk, Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours and YouTube channel Amanda Ellis 11. Welcome. What we're going to be doing today is some guidance regarding the upcoming solar eclipse and new moon on the 21st of August. So let's get into that. I'm going to light some incense, and my lighting incense seemed to provoke some reaction on the last video I made, because I don't know, it seemed to develop into a discussion in terms of could people see angel orbs or couldn't they. The whole point of incense, in all seriousness, just for a moment, is to help bring spirit close. That's why it's used in many church services and other, it's used in most of the major religions around the world. Incense is a way to heighten the vibration. One of many ways, whether it be music, colour, sound, and scent. So if you're seeing things within the smoke, then it's actually symptomatic of the fact that the incense is helping to create a spiritual environment. So I'm a great fan of burning it, actually. I love to burn it, and it's also a great purifier of space as well. And that really feels as though that's what we are into at the moment. We are into a purging and a purification stage. I'm recording this on the 17th of August, so we're sort of into eclipse energies now. And the eclipse on the 21st, of course, the immediate energy will carry on for a few days after the 21st as well. But of course, eclipses, the energy of them, they go on for at least 1 to 2 years. So it's really important to be very mindful of your thoughts at this time, because what you are dreaming in, what you're manifesting in, and also what you're letting go of, even if it doesn't materialize immediately, what's happening is you're setting something in motion which will transpire over the next couple of years, okay? It doesn't have to take 2 years to materialize, but it's important to know that eclipse energies aren't just about the actual day themselves. That there are ripples, there are waves that go on for months and years sometimes to come as well. But this is a big one, and I wanted to talk about it. Wasn't quite sure what Archangel Metatron wanted me to bring through on it, so sort of asked him today as I was waking up. And the analogy that he gave me, if you think about eclipses being about endings and new beginnings, I was shown, it's as though we're all on a fairground ride at the moment. That's what it feels like. And it's as though we're on a roller coaster, okay? And it's a roller coaster that has taken us to quite a high peak, you know, so it feels as though a lot of us have been climbing and struggling and really trying to push through adversity to reach the place where we're at the moment. And we're at the top of this ride, and it's as though a lot of us feel as though we actually want to get off the ride. Okay, it's as though we want to get off the ride, we want to give our money back to the person that we paid the ticket for, realizing that actually we don't really want what we've signed up for. And it's as though we would do anything sometimes at the moment to get off the ride, get out of our seat, even though the view is quite interesting and we can almost see the vista which is in front of us. But it's like, no, I don't want to go down. I don't want the next part of the journey. Now, when I talk about going down, I'm talking about the roller coaster, okay? And actually, the going down when you've reached the peak is actually the thrill. I have to say, I hate fairground rides, so it's not my thrill at all. But I'm led to believe that that's where the thrilling part comes in, which is about the adrenaline and the rush that you get from going from that place at the height to sort of going down again. But it's as though we don't want that. You know, we're in fear, basically, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of fear around at the moment, including regards what we might have dreamt in, asked for, even at Lionsgate. We're talking days ago, you know, things that we put into place, plans that we thought were solid. It's as though it's all becoming a bit real now. And this downward motion of the roller coaster is very much what the eclipse feels as though it's about to me. It's as though it's arrival, is what Metatron is saying. It's about arrival. And some of us are feeling as though we're not quite yet ready. We're not quite prepared for what we have actually asked for in our own life. So we're going to try and settle some nerves, okay? We're going to try and settle some nerves in this session and make you realise that all is well. And this feels as though it's going to be much more personal than some of my other videos recently, which have been more about the collective consciousness. So I'm really going to ask Metatron to focus on some guidance for us at a personal level. So I'm just going to pull some cards. And there's two decks that I've been told to use today. The first one is the Colour Oracle deck by Leslie Sloan. And we're just going to pull one card here and see what the guidance is for it. So I won't look at what I'm pulling, I'll look at you. And let's just tune into what is the main message for us for the eclipse. And I'm being told to pick that one, and it's completely perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you the image of that. Okay, it's magenta. It's magenta number 2, and it's exactly what I have just described. Okay, can you see? It's like the angel is knocking on the door. The doorway is wide open. You know, Lionsgate opened that doorway, and this is us at the moment. This is us, and we're sitting there, and this figure is crouched. She or he is in fear, and it's almost as though what I'm picking up here, whatever this person has asked for, dreamt in, wanted, thought they wanted, still do want in reality, because it's higher self that created all that manifestation energy. It's as though it's here now. Look at that great big shining ball. The angel is ready to deliver it, and we've gone into a place of what I want to say is I am not worthy, you know, I am not worthy to receive. I want to actually just hide underneath the duvet, and I want to just stop, almost like stop the world for a moment. It's all got too intense. And actually that thing about stop the world, it's all got a bit too intense. I was picking up myself personally today as well. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking it's not the fact that, you know, I want to fundamentally get off the ride or not be here. It's the fact that the energies are just so intense at the moment. It's almost as though we all need some time to really deeply go within and nurture ourselves, because what is happening around us collectively, but also personally in our own lives, there are such big waves of change coming in, and we know it. We know it's there. Look, it's there. You see the door is wide open, but we've gone into fear mode. It's like, ooh, you know, I'm not sure about this. And that's okay, you know. The spiritual path isn't just all about the light. It's also about looking at this stuff, okay, which is fear. That's all it is. But I'm saying it's all it is. We still have to acknowledge it, that is what it is. I want to read the message of this card, which I will do in one moment. But the one thing I also want to say is that magenta, which is the colour ray that we're dealing with here, is very linked in to Archangel Metatron, okay? When I teach people how to tune into Metatron via my distance packages and my workshops, I say there are fundamentally, Metatron is all the colours of the rainbow, but there are 2 colours in particular that he's really tied into. One is orange, which is the colour of attunement, and the other one is magenta, okay? And magenta is these dark shades of pinky, reddy, purple. And magenta is a colour which is all about, it's a bridge to the next step, whatever that next step is. It's the bridge to the next reality, the next dimension, the next stage of your life. And this picture is just surrounded in magenta light. And even though that person at the moment is crouched, and that might represent you and how you're feeling, you can't not absorb that light that is all around you, okay? So even if you do this, you know, it's like, I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, we're back to being on the top of that fairground ride as well. It's almost like, get me out of here. I don't want this part of the ride anymore. It's too big, it's too scary. It could be too much fun, you know, it could be too light, it could be too fantastic, because that's the whole thing with the analogy of the fairground ride. You're at the top and you're full of fear, but ultimately you know that the next part of it, when you go down, you know, it's like, that is the adrenaline rush. That's the excitement, that's the pure passion and the pure energy and the pure life force, you know. So I'm going to go and grab the magenta Metatron spray, which is linked into Divine Love, and then I'm going to read you the message that goes with this card. So let's grab the book and grab the spray, and look at that, I've actually opened the book on the page, so we know that this is an important message. Oh, how interesting, because actually on her cards you can see that there isn't actually a name, it just says magenta 2, because they're colour oracle cards. But actually in the book, the title of this card is spiritual growth, okay? So that's what this eclipse is all about. It's about growing us spiritually. Archangel Metatron has a magenta spray. This is Divine Love. Note we're talking about divine love, not human love. Divine love is unconditional. Let's just all link into that magenta ray. Put it around yourself. And breathe in magenta. Let's just breathe in this colour 3 times together in the eclipse energies. Breathing in magenta. Breathing out magenta. Breathing in magenta. Breathing out magenta. Breathing in magenta. Breathing out magenta. And I don't know if you can feel it, but one of the qualities that magenta has that I can feel right now is it puts you back into the present moment. I think eclipses by nature make us look backward to the past in terms of what we're being asked to leave behind, and they also ask us to look forward, you know, to what we want in the future. But actually what magenta teaches is that we also have to acknowledge the present moment. And at present, the physical self, even though there's all this spiritual growth going on around it, the physical self is struggling a little bit, okay? And the physical self needs time to catch up. Let's read what she says here. Right, a young boy sits on a stump in a box, sobbing because he feels alone and disconnected from spirit. He is lost and confused, not trusting where to go for help. His violet body expresses the grief and feelings of victimization as he thinks his circumstances cannot be changed. The boy is so focused on his pain while sitting in the darkness that he hasn't noticed the angel coming through the doors, illuminating him with the light of the universe. She has answered his heart and is there to soothe the boy by holding him in the light of tenderness and compassion. It is through her divine love that he can begin awakening to his true nature and learn to trust again. Many of life's dramas awaken us into higher states of consciousness. They are a container for us to experience difficulties in life and spiritually grow from them if we choose to do. The boy in the box is a metaphor for most people who live their lives in boxes, never pushing outside of their comfort zone, never exploring their many gifts from divine source, never questioning what else is out there for them, nor trusting it will manifest. Each of us must seek our own destiny, yet that destiny is guided by the divine ones above us who know our soul's contract here on earth. And there's a quote here as well from Deepak Chopra, who says, "Loosen your grasp a little And remember, whatever you hold on to is already dead, because it is past. Die to every moment and you will discover the gate to unending life. Wow, so this is quite deep, isn't it? This is quite deep, and it would be with the magenta ray, to be honest, because magenta is the bridge to the next step. It's the bridge to the next part of who we are. And you can only get the new you by letting the old die. And so I feel as though there is also some grief coming up for some of us as we approach this eclipse, because we know that we are about to say goodbye to some things in our life. And even though they're worn and they're tatty and they're old and they need to go, we still have an affection for them, okay? I'm being shown it's like a battered out old teddy. You wouldn't want to throw away your teddy, but again, he's an analogy, he's a metaphor. It's like we hold on to things, but really they are gone, you know? And it's time to say goodbye to some things. I do feel the eclipse will bring in some endings as well, some physical endings. And I'd like at this moment to actually spray the Bluebell Bridge Spray, which is this one. Those of you that are sensitive to energy, this one's got a new combination of oils. We're experimenting with the oils within it. And I will tell you when it's available to purchase. It's not going to be for a few weeks. Tracy, who helps me with my sprays, is on a well-deserved holiday at the moment. So we're probably talking about September, but I've got this bottle here, which is my tester of the new fragrance, and you may well feel the hit of it. It's quite different. Let's all just acknowledge any loss, any sadness that we feel as we are about to experience this huge eclipse energy, which is about endings and new beginnings, okay? So I want you to link into your lungs in particular, your lungs, your heart and your higher heart. I'm feeling it here, also feeling it in my throat. It's from your heart to here, okay? There's a block that many of us have got. And what we do is we bring in the energy of the Bluebell Bridge. Breathe, receive, breathe, receive, breathe, receive. And then from that place of feeling the support, we can now release. Breathe. And now release. Breathe. And now release. Breathe. And now release. Feel a beautiful bluebell cloak placed around your shoulders. Soft, gentle energy. Holding you, supporting you, acknowledging you. Acknowledging this part of you that feels frightened. And into that now, once again, we place the magenta light around you and around the part of you that's feeling frightened. And I want you to open your heart and let in the divine love. And as you let in the divine love, we bring in a new vibration to that frightened you. And we get this one. Turquoise 2. We're on a journey here because, as you can see, We still have a figure here. She's still a bit huddled, but I like this turquoise energy that's here. We have dolphins. We have the beautiful aquamarine energy. And it is encouraging this lady now. This boy, we've got the two figures, they're quite similar. You're being encouraged out by light, angelic light and colour, and you're being encouraged out of your fear here now by the elements, by the element of water, light again, and colour. Come and play. Come out of here. Let's use water now for the next stage of our healing. I'm going to grab the water elemental. Water elemental, turquoise. Link into this part of you that might be a little bit frightened still. She's edging closer towards the water. She hasn't dived in there yet with those dolphins. Let's use water. And I'm going to take you to a place where I was only a few weeks ago. A cove within the Mediterranean, whose sea was that colour. The sea was that colour. It was that clear that you could see to the bottom of it. Just by looking over the boat, you could see to the bottom of the sea. It was perfect aquamarine energy. You could see the flat stones on the bottom of the seabed. And we're all being asked to just symbolically place ourselves into the water. If you can't swim, you're given a huge, great big rubber ring, a float to keep you upright. There's nothing to fear from this water. It's clear, it's beautiful. And as your body submerges into this warm, beautiful sea with salt to purify, all of the fears are released. And you find yourself swimming in this sea, and you are joined by the dolphins, by the fish, the coral underneath you, and all is well. We are ready for the eclipse. Stay in the water, let it nurture you, let it go over your muscles that might be stressed or tense. And just feel the buoyancy, feel the fact that you can float and that you're being carried also. And then on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, we arrive into this state of being, peridot. Beautiful peridot energy. And this is the awakened heart. This person isn't hiding in a corner. This person isn't hiding in a box. This person is transparently visible, well, healed, ready to go through all of the ride. That card is so stunningly beautiful. Let's see what it's called, shall we? Peridot 1. It's called the beloved other. It beckons the soul to play with excitement in the light and just be in one's authentic nature with the self or another. We are true to ourselves, and then we can be true to another. For when we are, a new level of freedom within us is born. Freedom. This is the energy of freedom, and it is the opposite from what we started with the chained, bound figure. So release your fears, and having done that, I'm now going to pull 3 cards linked into what we can expect with the eclipse. Okay. I think I'll take these 3 cards from the Tony Carmine Salerno deck, the Art of Love Tarot. And let's have 3, please, Metstrom, for what we can expect with this eclipse energy going up to the end of August. That one, and I need to shuffle again for the 3rd. I've got a feeling I know what one of the cards is, we'll see. And that one. I knew it. I knew that card was going to come up. Number 20, the Awakening. There's a lot of imagery on that card. Can you see we've got that beautiful aquamarine sea that I was just talking about? And can you see arising out of the aquamarine sea is the Ankh. Talked a bit about the Ankh. The Ankh is linked into the eternity of life. I'm being told the meaning of life as well. We have to be ready to receive that key to a new doorway. But this is the card of awakening and emergence. I'm wanting to say there's a bit of a wake-up call coming. And that's why I knew this card was going to be coming up, okay? We can't shy away from the times we're in. Those of you that have watched my last video know what I've said with regard to coming earth changes. Thank you very much, by the way, for your feedback on that. Lots of lovely positive comments. A few haters as well, but you're going to get that with the number of people that are now watching. But you know, sometimes the people that are provoked the most are actually the ones which at a deep level you've actually hit some buttons. I will not be censored, and I will not say what I feel I want to say. Wake-up calls can be deeply uncomfortable, but they are always for a higher purpose. And let's just look at some of the other symbolism on this card. We've got the 3 eyes, we've got the pyramids link into our own personal power, and we've got the star. We've got the 2 colours actually that we've used in this video so far. We've got magenta and that beautiful green of the water. But I'm also looking at this card, and actually more than anything what I'm seeing is the divine feminine. This, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but these are lips. There's a woman's face here. It's very clearly an awakening, and it's like the divine feminine energy is I feel like I want to say is rising from the waters, okay? And she will not be ignored. She will not be ignored. She is not going to be drowned. She is not going anywhere. And much of what we see around us collectively, but maybe also personally in our own life, if there's any male figures that are trying to put you down, or there are male figures in society that are trying to keep the old patriarchal energy going, it's on the way out. Doesn't mean it's on the way out on Monday, but it's on the way out over the next few years. It might take a couple of decades, but it's on the way out in our lifetime. And the divine feminine energy is wanting to come in, but she can only come in. There's wake-up calls coming for the world, Also wake-up calls in terms of looking at what the patriarchal rule has done up to this point in time. There has to be a new way forward. But I did say this was also personal for you, so let's just read what the message is here with regard to awakening. Okay, number 20. Oops, sorry, not the camera there. Where's my book? Okay, 20. So it's a major arcana, of course, and it links into meaning. Here we go. Oh, judgment. So in terms of the traditional tarot cards, it's the judgment card, which is to do with atonement, rejuvenation. The awakening acknowledges a complete union and alignment within yourself. The physical and spiritual have merged into one. Until now, you have been holding back in a situation. You have been looking at something or someone with your physical eyes. However, your inner eye is awakening, and you are now seeing from a renewed, loving perspective. Your physical eyes see conditionally, your spiritual eye sees unconditionally. Bring all three eyes together for a fully balanced view. You have seen what is possible beyond the fear and the limitations. It's time to put your whole self forward. So it's a time in your own personal lives to make some decisions in terms of getting this unity and this balance in terms of your mental, spiritual, physical and emotional health as well, okay? And it's also being able to see very clearly. I feel as though what the eclipse is going to do is when the sun comes back out, it's as though you very clearly can see some situations that might have been in your life for quite a while that have been quite confused and muddled, and it's like you get a new vision on it, you get a higher perspective, and from that decisions then have to be made. The two cards that came with this is the Nine of Hearts, and again we've got the image of the eye again here, okay, which is stability, and we've got the Queen of Stars, which is Illuminator. So we've got three powerful symbols here coming, because I'm very into symbols and using those at different times. And we've got three symbols here. We've got the star, okay, and yes, I want to link that to the Merkaba star. Of course I do, because that's what the Metatron teaching is. Those of you that don't know about Merkaba, look up my video on it. I won't go into it now, but the Merkaba, which is also a protective field to activate around yourself, okay? So the star is the one that leads us, guides us, but also protects us. And we have this eye. I'm going to go and get my book on symbols in a minute and read a bit more about that for you. And then we've got the Ankh. So let me just go and grab my book on eyes, okay? Hopefully it's to hand. Yes, it is. I don't know about you, but as a child, I always had this fascination for eyes, and I would draw eyes over and over and over again. Eye of Horus, 32.3, that's the one I'm linking into here. Ridiculously so, but I also know I've got a very strong Egyptian energy. So here we go, Eye of Horus. I'm just going to mention a little bit about this because we've got so many eyes here on these cards, particularly this one actually, the Nine of Hearts, stability. Okay, can you see that right in the middle of the tree? One of the most powerful Egyptian symbols, the Eye of Horus, has many names, including the all-seeing eye and the Wedat, sorry for my pronunciation. The eye represents the sun and symbolizes light, joy and protection, and is associated with the sun god Horus, so perfect for a solar eclipse. One of the oldest deities in the Egyptian pantheon. The eye is often found on funerary objects because it is thought to light the path of the dead into the underworld. The teardrop below the eye is believed to match the marking around the eye of the falcon, which was associated with Horus. Other tales present the teardrop as a scar left on Horus after a fight with Set, the god of the desert, storms and disorder. The spiral, see the spiral? Yeah? The spiral that stretches out below the eye represents a serpent and signifies great wisdom and the changing cycles of life. The serpent is also often associated with movement and the continuing nature of life and death. The Eye of Horus is a powerful totem commonly used in protection rituals. Harness the energy of this symbol whenever you need help to turn a corner or move on from a bad situation. The Eye of Horus will give you the power and strength you need to overcome obstacles in your life. And it does say here, protect your home by copying an image of the Eye of Horus onto a piece of paper and placing it beneath a doormat near the entrance of your house. So I like that. That feels very, very relevant to us. And I'm feeling here that it's right in the middle of this tree. This tree is symbolizing our own growth through the eclipse period. And for some of us, I'm being shown it's a bit like a sunflower. It can grow very, very strong and get a bit sort of spindly almost. But, you know, there is strength, the roots are there. But the Eye of Horus in the middle is protecting the growth that is happening in your life at this moment in time, okay? Really, really interesting that. I find that fascinating. Those of you that are linked into Egyptian mythology, please feel free to comment on this video and just add a bit more about the Eye of Horus. Find it quite fascinating that it's on this card here. And obviously Horus is linked into the sun as well. And it talked about life and death, didn't it? Rebirth. It's all relevant. Third card. Let's have a look at what the third card is. Queen of Stars. This is us. Queen of Stars. Illumination. We come out of all of this, okay? We come out stronger, wiser, more lit up, you know, from within and around as well. And look at the peace that that woman has on her face. Doesn't she have peace? You know, you can feel the strength of her, but she feels at peace. And she feels as though she's come through the dark night of the soul. All is well. And actually it feels like she's come back to herself. She's come back to herself. She's found herself. And that, I feel, is what all of us are being offered fundamentally through this very, very powerful energetic portal. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Put them in my book. There it is. Queen of Stars. Okay, so yeah, she's awakening you to your beauty and your strength. You have compromised yourself because you didn't know you could be loved for being you. Open your heart to the inspiring creator you are. It's what I just said. She is at peace in her own skin, okay? She loves herself, she honours herself, and because she does that, it's reflected back to her in her relationships as well. So let's just see if there's any last thing Metatron wants to say to us. And he did ask me to spray this one, which is the Sunrise New Dawn. Seems pretty appropriate for a solar eclipse in our life. Let us spray this and let's just ask him for any final words of guidance. Just be yourself. It's so important. Before I get to Metatron's energy and message, my videos by nature are quite long. They're not, you know, I don't do sound bites. I like to teach, basically. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach. And I was criticised for that. Some comment on YouTube the other day. It's like, get to the point, woman, you know, get to the point. And I put something like, no, I'm not, I won't. I am who I am. You know, if you like my style, you like my style. If you don't, go elsewhere, you know. And that's the point. That's what this woman does. She, you know, she's comfortable with who she is and how she works and what she does. And if others don't like that, do you think she looks bothered? No, that's what we're all being asked to reach. Okay, let's link into Sunrise New Dawn. And just see yourself standing in pure sunlight. And Metatron is saying, when you stand in pure sunlight and you're blessed in that way, you can feel the warmth and you can feel the light and you can feel the upgrade, but the light will also illuminate the stains. It will illuminate the dark. It will show up in your own life and in the collective, the ugly bits, the dark bits, the troublesome bits. But they've always been there. It's just they've been hidden. And so don't be frightened by anything that comes up at this time, whether it's collective or whether it's personal. Ultimately, it was always there anyway. It needed the light to come in to illuminate it, for you to acknowledge it, for it to be accepted if it's part of you, maybe it's part of your fear, and then for this rebirth to be able to happen. There is much power within the sun. And feel the joy, rather than the ancients who just went into fear that the sun was about to be eclipsed. Marvel at its reappearance. Give gratitude for the fact that it is back and what it does day to day, which is create life upon this planet. Draw down the sun's power through your body on this day and always, and let it strengthen you, align you, and fill you with its power. Namaste, everybody. Let me know how your experiences were on solar eclipse, and I'll next speak to you in September, and we'll see where we all are then. Much love for now. Make sure you're true to yourself. Namaste. And just quickly, for those of you that have watched all the way to the end, this is my gorgeous golden Labrador, Bella. And she's pretty chilled out, as you can see. Having a cuddle from my eldest daughter, who doesn't want to be on screen, which is fair enough. But I just wanted her to say hello to you. Bella, Bella. Is she going to wake up? No. Bella. Say hello to everybody. Bella. Bella. She's been very quiet, isn't she? Hello, darling. Hello. Sleepy. Hello, you're sleepy. Yes. All right. That's our lovely dog. Bye, everyone.